There are people that we have been watching in organizations that are not part of the campus. We've been very clear. There are individuals in organizations that are not students. We're seeing a shift in tactics that are being used, destruction of property, destructions of cameras. We know there are outside individuals that have been influencing this issue.
All right, we don't know the details behind that, but New York Mayor Adams making it very clear he thinks there are certainly some outside agitators sort of galvanizing these protests on. Enter John Chell is the NYPD Chief of Patrol, kind enough to join us in the flesh. Chief, thank you for coming. What do you think of what the mayor was saying there?
Oh, he's absolutely right. There are infiltrators on that campus.
How can you tell?
Well, we know our intelligence division knows them by name, knows what they do,
wow,
and know how they act. So no doubt about it. As we filtered through the arrest last night, we'll differentiate between who's a student, who is not a student, and at what level of the non-student were you an agitator. But there are definitely agitators influencing, radicalizing some of these kids. And when I say radicalizing, teaching them how to hunker down better, how to dismantle cameras, how to barricade doors. And that's what you saw in the building they took over in Columbia.
You guys intervened in the Columbia situation, and that prompted talk. What made you intervene? Did Columbia ask or did you demand? It is a private institution, so how do you balance that?
So private property and the rules of that school has to be adjudicated at that school. We will go in if crimes are being committed. We will do that. We don't have to get action in writing, but we want it from the schools. This is the second time they gave us a letter documenting exactly what they want done, and we went in there. And last night, I'll tell you, it was between City College and Columbia, multi-level plan. We had to take back the street first. We had to go to the quad. We had to secure 5 dorms. And then we had to deal with the building. It was a fast-moving situation, but our cops did a great job. We did a great job last night. The plan worked. And I think we showed the nation, the city, what the NYPD is capable of.
You know, it had to be dicey because one false move, and you're a couple of smartphone representations away from someone suing you or going after you. So your men and women have heard the worst possible things and charges from those same protesters. How did they deal with that?
Professional training. We've done about 2,400 protests since October 7th, and before that, we're very used to it. We're professional. We get it done. We stay neutral to the best. We're firm, but we're fair. And the last 2 times we did this, it was a great plan, and it worked well. No incidents, no one got hurt. Now we have Columbia, we have city campus back to us.
Would it make a difference, Chief, if it were the public university then? Do you handle that any differently? You don't need any special permission, right?
We wouldn't have to, but we would, because anytime cops on college campuses isn't a great recipe. So we want to be all on the same page. So when we do it in unison, Columbia, look, they were going through their process. They never dealt with this. They're trying to appease different factions. But at the end of the day, they needed our help a second time. They asked it. We worked with them yesterday, and we got the job done.
Could I ask you this more personal question, Chief? Because you're very experienced at dealing with this, because New York has protests.
Little active out there.
Once or twice.
Yeah,
we got some of that background. But some universities handle it differently. A lot of people using the Brown University example, where they avoided things getting out of control by putting up a measure and a proposal, or at least putting it up, that would talk about divesting of companies that invest in Israel. They didn't say they'd commit to that. That's that they would put it up to a vote. But some interpreted that to be they're just caving and doing the protesters' bidding. What do you think of that?
Every school is different. They have their own philosophy, their own stance on social issues. We, quite frankly, don't care about that. We are here to protect and serve, keep everyone safe. And when it comes to that private property issue or private school issue, we'll be guided by you in terms of the rule breaking on your campus. Crimes are a different situation. We will go in if we have to. But it's a very slippery slope. Again, cops and kids on campus, professors who are not exactly some of our friends.
Yeah, what do you think when they're part of the protest?
Well, like I said a week ago, if you're part of the protest, you're protesting your First Amendment, so be it. Good for you. Good, speak out. But when it turns into hate speech and hate rhetoric, probably as a teacher, you probably should be fired. And as a student with hate speech.
It turns into something violent.
Right, and exactly. And with hate speech, that's a First Amendment. If I'm a school official, I think I wanted to, you no longer can come to my school. Let's bring someone else in.
But a couple of hundred have been arrested, right?
So it was 108 about a week ago from Columbia.
Right.
Last night between two schools, about 282 various charges, mostly summonses for trespassing.
Right.
But we had the burglary of the building. We had criminal mischief of the building. So varying charges. But again, no issues, no injury, 2 minor injuries, that's it, minor injuries.
The reason why I mention it, Chief, is Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan DA, has commented on these arrests, saying that we're going to look at every case. I want to quote him here correctly. As my office does in every instance, and all of them, I will look carefully at each individual case on our docket and make decisions based on the facts and the law, and that will include a thorough review of body cam footage and interviews with witnesses. In terms of scheduling, the earliest arraignments would probably be later this afternoon or this evening. But in other words, he will be closely scrutinizing those arrests.
He's going to be talking probably about the 11 live arrests, which we charged them with burglary and conspiracy to commit burglary. So he'll do his due diligence in terms of the discovery, the body-worn cameras, witness statements, and he'll come up with an arraignment charge. Hopefully that sticks to an indictment charge. And based on the person's history, we'll see what happens. But we got to set the example here.
But he does have a record of letting assailants go, or those who cause trouble go, rather quickly. I'm just wondering if you're worried for your men and women, what this might signal.
No, I'm sure the DA will do his due diligence in this case. In the light of what's happening, this is ground zero for America right now. So I'm sure he'll put a special eye on this and do the right thing.
We just had a young man, Chief, with us a few minutes ago. He's a freshman at Columbia, doesn't know whether he'll return to the school. His parents are worried for him. What do you think of the state of things, not only at that school, but a lot of these schools where this sort of thing has gotten out of control?
As a father, I would be scared for my son and my daughters who just finished college, all of them. I'd be very concerned. The young man that was just here, the NYPD stands for him. We want to make that school secure for him and his family. We want that student to get a great education. We want him to feel good as he walks out onto Broadway. The NYPD is here for him and his family.
Amazing. Your men and women do amazing work. So do you. So I'm just glad to see you here.
Listen, I'm just the coach. The cops run the place. They did a great job last night. They're young and they got some spunk. I'm getting a little old. I sit in the back.
We never say that, Chief. Never say that. And never give them credit. Just give yourself credit. No, but I see where you're coming from. And we thank you for that.
Anytime.
Your guys here, we appreciate all of that. John Chell, the NYPD Chief of Patrol. I hope things calm down, Chief.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.